Good afternoon and welcome to Overcoming Adversity podcast, powered by Next Level Recovery Associates. I'm here with my co-host, Sarah Frias. Would you like to say hi to everyone?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
And we have an awesome guest today. Sarah, I'd love for you to introduce our guest today.
Well, Craig Robinson, who I messed up his name all the time for some reason.
It's a tough name. Yeah.
I know.
Is it really, though?
No, not really.
Okay.
No, but I think I messed it up with Richard.
Oh,
That's a common...
Yeah, Richard Casey.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So it just happened. So anyway, Craig Robinson, amazing attorney, in recovery, really does a lot of amazing work with clients locally, all over South Florida, Baker Act, Marchman Act. I'm sure we'll get into that. And just all around, I think, genuine person. You're easy to talk to, which I love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You might not have said that like 10 years ago, but...
Okay, well, you wouldn't have said the same
Same.
thing about me. Yeah, no, it's
Same.
okay.
Well, no, 20 years ago for me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
tell our listeners just like a little bit about you and what you do,
Sure.
Just so they can understand, and then
Yeah.
we'll get into some questions.
I'm originally from Philadelphia. First of all, go Birds.
Go Birds.
And I've been an attorney now for 16 years. The first 10 years of that was in Philadelphia, New Jersey, doing like litigation, civil litigation, trial attorney. Common story, things kind of fell off the rails. Had my own issues with addiction, went to treatment, ended up in Florida, ended up staying in Florida, and heard about this thing called the Marchman Act and guardianship and mental health guardianship. And so our firm, Robinson and Casey, has been around since September of 2021, so coming up on 4 years.
Awesome.
But I've been doing this work for a little over 5. Richard Casey is my law partner, so we specialize in...
Love him. We fell in love with him in Breckenridge.
Yeah,
Yes, he is amazing.
He is amazing. So our firm specializes in helping families access treatment for addiction and mental health, even when it feels out of reach. So if you are either a parent or even an adult child or a brother or a sister or even a friend who knows somebody who has issues with addiction, needs to be in treatment, will not go to treatment or is treatment resistant, or will walk in the door of a treatment facility and likely won't stay based on their history, that's where we come in and utilizing the court to kind of help that family make sure that that person gets to treatment safely.
I would want to add one thing to that. The people that are so not there that they're not capable of making that decision for themselves yet.
Yeah.
So that getting them in and getting them stabilized, then, they'll have to stay, right?
Right. Yeah.
So it's a great thing. Florida has it. What other states? I know Kentucky has the Casey.
They do. Yeah. Casey's law,
I did that one intervention there. You can do it the same day, which is interesting.
Sure.
We'll go right there to the court. So what other states have this?
So really,
or similar?
Really none. And even in Kentucky, with the law in Kentucky, the problem there is that as far as treatment options are concerned, there's not as many. So Florida is really unique in that way. There really isn't a state that has both this kind of law that says favorable and also this many options of good quality treatment programs. People like yourselves. To work with and connect to, and the resources down here are just so much different than anywhere else. Illinois has a law, apparently, that's on the books that they just don't utilize. In fact, I believe that they have a rule that you have to go to a facility that apparently hasn't been in existence for like 10 years, but that's the way that the law is still written, that they still name this non-existent.
Go fix it and make an office up there. I'm always thinking of businesses.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, and the cool thing about the law down here is you don't have to be from here. So you can be from anywhere. We have a lot of families who strategize and
let's go to Florida for vacation.
Yeah. Or, it's like, you'll be able to get them here. But the concern is like, what's going to happen next? Like, are they going to get through detox and then take their will back and decide that this is not for me any longer? Having a court order in place makes sure that can't happen. So it gives families that option to close doors that they before could not close.
And it goes through mental health court, which is something really important for people to know. It's not going to be on someone's criminal record. I know a lot of families are like, I'm not doing that. And it's a very loving act.
Yeah.
It is not. And so oftentimes, the Marchman Act can partner with the intervention.
Oh, yeah.
And the intervention can be the soft, opening, working with the family, getting the family prepared and ready, and then having the court order ready to go. And, sometimes file it just in case.
Yep.
And sometimes, the person's like, you know what, I've been waiting to go. I'm willing to go, and then have it ready, to file. So some families want to just start with the more like soft before like cops just show up and things like that. So it definitely can work hand in hand.
100%. Yeah. We work with a lot of interventionists, in case management groups like yourselves. And
well, you got to get rid of them and just work with us. Well, just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. I love all the ones around here.
But you hit the nail on the head. It can change the dynamics of the intervention, right? If it's an intervention in play, now, number one, like you said, we can get the court order in advance, put it in your hand, try that easier, softer way, and if all else fails, utilize that court order if you need. And the other piece to it too is like for interventions that are taking place out of state. Now the interventionist, this is what I always kind of tell interventionists, is like now, rather than getting maybe like a full commitment from the individual who's being intervened on, you just need to get them here. You know what I mean? I mean, just get them here.
I won't lie, but I'll keep it open-ended.
Yeah. Right.
I'll never lie to a client. Like I heard one time, I had one client that was traumatized. She was told she was going to a program for like 30 days and it was like a 9 month and she had 2 little kids. And I felt, she was so upset about it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thing is always, like I tell families, like the first step is just to get them to say yes. Once they're in the facility, like the facility really should be hopefully doing the job, right? I know everybody's individualized, but really just getting them to agree, like, okay, I have a problem. I'll go get help.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's terrible about 9 months.
Yeah.
So sometimes we, we'll do interventions that aren't for treatment, right? They're for like the case management, companion kind of services.
Sure.
Can a Marchman Act work for something like that?
It can, yeah. I mean, we have a lot of, when families come to us, typically they have tried the traditional route.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's 30 times, right? So when they come to us, I mean, we do get those calls periodically where it's like, my son or daughter is smoking too much weed. And like the first question we ask is like, have you asked them if they'll go to treatment?
That's our first question.
Us too. We don't want to.
We
don't want to take
It's going to save you a lot of time and money if you just ask them and they're like, I'll go.
It's amazing though that people don't want to ask that question. Like
some of them are scared of their loved ones, and some of them are scared of their kids. And as a mom, I'm sorry. Like you have to do some work to do if you're scared of your kids.
Yeah.
Like you should stay in control, and they should have a healthy fear of you.
Yeah. But no, to that point, it and you also mentioned the speed of it too. I mean, it's something that can be put into place really quickly, right? So like those cases where you just want to kind of see how things go, we can kind of be waiting and have the paperwork prepared and give that person the opportunity to do it voluntarily. The only thing I will mention too is that a lot of families ask us this is like, should I threaten it? And in our experience, that doesn't usually go too well. If they bring it up and say, if you don't go to treatment, I'm going to Marchman Act you.
Yeah, then they're going to bolt.
Correct.
Then you're going to lose them. We don't want to lose them.
They could probably think even maybe they're fibbing as well. Like their parents have like said things over and over again. Obviously not obviously, but like not went through with what they were saying. So they're like, okay, sure, okay.
But to answer your question though, so it could be through any licensed service provider in the state of Florida. So that can include a therapist, an outpatient therapist. So it could be a psychiatrist, a therapist, anyone who is a qualified professional under Florida law.
Yeah.
And that person can be designated as the one that will make clinical recommendations. Awesome. So we've had circumstances where someone maybe is treating with a psychiatrist, and they are obligated to follow that psychiatrist's recommendations.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they may be living in sober living, maybe they're living at home.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be the traditional detox, res,
right.
PHP.
Because not everyone needs that. We used to be so pushed for that. Not everybody needs that. Yeah. So we we're, and I'm sure, so as a newer, firm, because like we're in our 6th year. I'm going on 6 years. You're going on 4.
Congratulations on everything.
Yeah,
too,
thank
by
you.
the way.
You too.
Yeah,
you too.
No, it's awesome.
Congrats. Yeah, and she's partner now, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, like officially on paper, like for the attorneys.
We signed and everything.
An amazing duo.
It was her Christmas present.
Yay.
Yeah, she's earned it though. But so we kind of use the thing like we do things differently. Like we learned a lot from our mentors, but we're like the next gen of this stuff. So like, what would you say that you and Richard try to do that maybe is newer or meeting clients differently? Because I feel like you guys have to have something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it starts with us for the fact that both of us are in recovery. Richard and I met. I was in treatment, and he was working at the treatment facility 6.5 years ago, and my therapist at the time, I was trying to figure out what to do with the rest of my life. So she introduced us. He was not in a role that would normally meet with the patients there.
He was an attorney there, right?
He was actually like in compliance and licensure and government affairs. So, but he was an attorney at the time. And so she introduced us thinking that would be a good match just for him to kind of walk me through what it looks like getting licensed in Florida. There's a whole process when you've been to treatment with getting licensed in Florida that makes it difficult. And so I think that the difference with us is that our relationship has been founded in recovery. And we both practice our recovery, and we both are really involved in the recovery community, not just in a professional setting, but in a personal setting. And so I think that's as a starting place really makes us different and unique. Our team now, we're a team of 13 people now.
Wow, it's 13?
Yeah.
What are they all doing?
Legal assistants, paralegals, another attorney who has been in the behavioral health world for a while. So she's not, she's kind of knows the deal. Jen Dale.
Okay.
She's been in-house counsel for treatment centers in the past. And so she has this background, which really fits with us. We have a client concierge who's a master's level social worker who kind of follows the client through the case. So checking in with them, even though they're hearing from their attorney and from the legal staff, this is somebody who's worked in treatment for a decade. So he can connect them to the treatment facility, address any issues that they might be having with the treatment process. Right. And so, I mean, that in and of itself, like when you have a team of really caring and individuals who have a really good culture and
culture is everything.
Yeah, culture is everything. And I mean, I think that's what makes us different. We really, this is not just like we're lawyers and we are trying to achieve a legal outcome. We consider ourselves a member of the behavioral health team who provides a legal service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And ultimately, I mean, we care about the outcomes, and we've had a lot of great outcomes from it.
Same. Like our motto is creating lasting change. We don't want to be a quick fix, right?
Yeah.
And we also say we're team centered. Everyone, you also say they're client centered. Yeah. But if you're team centered and take really good care of your team and the culture is good, obviously your clients are going to get good care.
Yeah. 100%.
Because like I know when I did this work for other people, not everyone, but some of the people I did, it was a nightmare. And I was like, I could just do this better. I would treat people kind. I would never like anyone that works with us is never like we're a team. Mm-hmm. There's no none of that.
Yeah. And if you, if you treat your team well, just like you treat your clients well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we work in a field where clients, as you know, are not always easy, right? They're coming in with a high level of anxiety. This is very traumatic. There's obviously things that have been going on which have been traumatic, not just for the individual involved, but for the entire family. So, and oftentimes, as you all know, like the families need their own resources. And one of the things that we really try to do is encourage not just the person who's going and being Marchman acted or under a guardianship, but we really try to encourage our families to seek out their own resources, whether that be Al-Anon, whether that be a group like that's going to provide family coaching and things of that nature.
Because because their loved one could go away and get better. If they're the same, it's not going to, we know.
Yeah.
But that's a big piece for us. Like we won't even we used to do just soul recovery coaching, but now it has to be case management because we need other people in the arena to actually make sure it works and the person just doesn't disappear. We've had that. Yeah. We had coaching clients and we had no contact. We're like, no more of that. We need to have buy-in from other people.
And that is so huge for us. I can't tell you how many times I've had this conversation with our clients, like, all right, we've Marchman acted them. What happens after this is all over, right? And, what happens when they get back out into, like, the world? Yeah. And, like, if you don't hold your boundaries, right, it's still, like, I mean, I feel like I don't want to do, like, I want you to help our clients really, through this. But how many times you can tell a family, like, you can't just keep doing the same thing that you're doing and expecting a different result.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Whether it be finances or allowing them to live with you and providing them housing, how hard that is to actually set that boundary. And the Marchman Act is a boundary.
It is. Yes, it is a legal matter, but it saves so many lives. I actually, right before here, saw a client that I had Marchman Act before. Now she is in a professional realm in our space.
Wow.
And I did not know she was. And so I walked in and I saw her and I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, I'm working with so-and-so and I've been doing it for about a year. I left finance. And I was like, wow, like I had to get her Marchman Act to, you know, I did her intervention in COVID with phones, parents on phones, knocking on a door and being like, hi. Yeah, that's what we had to do, me and Blake in our beginning.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because there was no, all of our mentors, all of the, you know, older generation, they couldn't travel and do interventions. We had to step up and do it.
Yeah.
So I know this is your podcast, but a follow-up question.
This is a conversation.
This is like a back
Do you
and
have
forth.
any indication of how she feels about it today, out of curiosity?
Well, when so I introduced her to another client that I also had Marchman Act. That they both came from good families. Both were out of state. I knew they'd get along, and they became best friends, and still are best friends. So they took me on their boat. They had a boat club together when they had a year.
Yeah.
And so then they came to my 40th birthday and things like that. So I think she's fine with it today.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
They both were like, thank God, because the other one was just like thought that she could just run out of the treatment center and go for a run and go hang out at the yacht club.
Yeah,
Like she had no clue. So they both realized that they needed it.
Yeah,
and they're not mad at it.
Yeah, and they have beautiful lives now.
Beautiful lives.
I don't know the one that she saw, but I know the other one, and I know that she's so grateful for it. And I don't see anything negative about her experience from her eyes, from what I've had the conversations with.
Yeah, and she wanted to come work for us. Yeah,
like
she wanted to come do work for us because she loved like everything how her life turned out.
That's awesome. I love hearing. I mean, and we hear that a lot too. Kind of the unique thing about us too, as I will say, and this is kind of like an interesting thing, but we actually have kept in touch with some of the people that we have Marchman Act, right? So even though we're representing their family,
absolutely, we do too.
They'll reach out to me or to Richard, and there's there's a regular meeting that I'll go to where there happen to be a few people in that meeting that we Marchman Acted, and the cool thing about it is, the great thing is, like, I get to see them thrive today, you know, and it's really like, you know, just going back to like what I did before this. And I know you've had a prior life, and you've had a prior life, and
lots of she was in nursing and medical facilities. I was in entertainment, and so we've all gone through all kinds of shit.
The greatest part about this field, I think, like what I love about it, I know that I think I once said this to you.
I've been in it for 15 years down here, so I'm a little traumatized when my personal business has been put out there, not by me, by like the rest of the world, like my divorce, my breakup, like all that shit. So I'm a little bit more reserved today and keep my personal stuff, but go ahead.
Understood. But you and I have had this conversation as well, where like, I mean, I worked in personal injury before, and also like I feel that as a personal injury attorney, don't get me wrong, they do a lot of great work. They help a lot of people. There's real value in that field. So anything I say next is not necessarily a knock on the industry. Yeah. But for me, when I would get a client that big judgment or that big settlement or whatever the case may be, and they'd be walking away with that sum of money, sure, there was happiness, sure, there was gratitude, sure, there was a feeling like we really impacted their life. But it's so much different in this field. Like
people were more cutthroat, right?
Like, it was all, and you know, it was like it was like the wild, wild west. Like, I mean, you know, like I think I might have mentioned this to you, but like if you know, it's very different going to like a treatment center or like a behavioral health conference than it is going to a personal injury chiropractic conference.
I could imagine.
You know,
yes.
Like, you know, you just meet so many awesome people, like beating you two and stuff through this, that like, I know I haven't been in the field long enough probably to, but you have a good circle. You have a good circle, and just trust your gut. Yeah.
You know, keep your certain things separate. Don't get too enmeshed. Those are my just recommendations, just from so much I've been through. Like, I've protected her. She hasn't had to go through any of it.
I don't like people that much anyway, so my circle's already
But that's okay. But the reality is though, I think I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you all do it because like you get to see the impact and like,
oh my God,
what better impact than actually intervening on a family or a person's life to the extent, like I used to call my clinical team the build a human team, right? I feel like that's what you all do. It's like we can get them to you through a legal process if we have to, but the work that you all do and clinicians and behavioral health professionals in the field, it's like you're really rebuilding a human life or human lives. Like you're rebuilding a family.
We put together whatever kind of team, whether it's legal, whether they need psyche evals, whether they need dietitian, whatever they need, like we put together that, and then we can keep tweaking and adjusting it until we get something that's like working for the person. And if it's not, then we're the first ones to say, okay,
this isn't working.
We'll recommend them to somebody else. You know, we don't want to be.
That's I think my kind of favorite thing is like getting a call about someone that's struggling, whether it's like mental health, eating disorder, you know, whatever the case is, substance use disorder, and being able to put together like this proposal of like what we think would be best for them, the team. Right, like this person's going to be a good fit.
And you and I can do it after like
quick.
a 15-minute call.
Oh
we know. We already
I'll call
know
her and I'll be like, Amanda, you have to be the coach. Like it's your, like this client is yours. Like I can just
like if they're in entertainment, high wealth, like those are like we know those.
I
are
just
gonna be
feel
mine.
it. Like at the moment I get on the phone and I start talking, it comes into my head.
Yeah.
Like I'm like this person, and I'll tell her like there's one the other day that I don't think we worked with in a while, but I was like, this is the person we need.
Yeah.
And it works like
it does.
for the most part.
Yeah, we're pretty good. I mean, we're pretty good.
I'd say 95%.
You know who's good with that? Joe Considine. When he refers to me, I guess there was like a program. I won't say a program was trying to use a different person, and he said to them, "This is an Amanda Marino case." It was a mom who was It was a woman who was pregnant.
Yeah.
And he's like, any moms, any young traumatized women, any men that think they're like, you know. So like I have a certain like niche, and like we know who I'm good with.
Yeah. No, it's for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a whole journey, and I love that we get to be in a community with you for like so many years. Like we're just getting started together.
Oh yeah,
you know, like we have so much we can do.
Yeah.
What is the criteria? I guess like say someone's listening, right? What is the criteria for someone to like reach out to you? Like what do you think there needs to be?
So basically, and I kind of mentioned this in the beginning, we don't just do Marchman Acts, we do guardianships. And so the criteria really can be you have an individual who has a substance use disorder or a co-occurring mental health disorder or both, or one or the other. And they need to be in treatment. In the guardianship space, they may need other help, like things like managing their finances and things of that nature, but they need someone to stand in their shoes and actually make decisions on their behalf. I loved working with those kind of cases too. Yeah. But you guys don't do like Britney Spears' version of guardianships. Not Britney. Just to be clear. I mean, not Britney Spears in particular. No, but like that case was intense. It was intense. I mean, I think it should not be allowed. No, there shouldn't be. I mean, listen, there's red flags that go up when you get a case in the firm. I mean, still to this day. I mean, if I'm on the phone on a consult call, there's certain things that might come up that might be red flags that we won't proceed forward on it. But we're starting to deal also with individuals with neurodegenerative disorders, Alzheimer's, dementia. Okay. I like that. Who need their family to step in and help them as well. But basically any family or any individual, it doesn't have to be family, who has a loved one who needs to be in treatment for either addiction or mental health, and they either cannot get them to go or they will not go on their own. Now, obviously, with the Marchman Act, there has to be a little bit more than that without proof. There has to be proof. Yeah, you know? Well, yeah, there has to be proof. I mean, proof it doesn't always have to be direct proof. Yeah. So this comes up a lot too. You know, families will ask us. I think we had this conversation. Yeah, I've never seen my loved one use drugs. Like I haven't seen them use drugs lately, but they're acting in the same manner that they did when they were using drugs. Right. So that is enough. Generally, if the other elements are met, to say there's enough people to step up. If they're behaving in an erratic fashion, to put the pieces together and say, now if they get to treatment and they don't test positive and there's reason to believe that might have not been accurate. But I have to tell you, we haven't really had that happen. We screen our cases pretty heavily on the front end. Yeah, and Richard's very OCD. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't go forward with the case unless we feel confident about it. Yeah. Same. What is the difference? Because you brought up Britney Spears, and this is something I'd like to know. Is there a difference between guardianship and conservatorship? So not really. In Florida, we call it a guardianship. Yes. In other states, it's referred to as a conservatorship. Okay. But for all intents and purposes, it's the same concept. Okay, that's what I thought. But I don't think that you could get what she had. I don't think that would be allowed here. I don't think that would fly. I don't think anymore it will anyways. Like having to have an IUD, having to get, just the disturbing things, having to perform but not getting any of her, like it was just very that was a pretty sad situation. It is. We've done a whole podcast on Britney Spears and then another and then the girl that on OnlyFans that like slept with 1,000 men in a day. I haven't heard of this one. Oh boy. No, it was 100. I did send you
on Facebook Messenger last night. On a side note, she just had a new video that it was 500 people. She just did one the other day. So.
Janine, our producers. Yeah, wow. That's gross, but that means she's really, really, really not well.
Correct.
You know, a lot of trauma there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are going to wrap up.
Awesome.
Are we going to do our thing?
Which thing?
I don't know.
We have a few things.
We could do the gratitude thing. We could do the thing that you don't like.
Okay, let's do both. Okay, what is something you're grateful for right now, and something that's like a cringy thing, a pet peeve, something that annoys you?
Oh man. Okay, so I mean, my family, my wife and my daughter Stella, who's 2. Those are like the most important part of my life. So I'm really grateful for them. And you know, my wife's not in recovery, but she is the most supportive wife of recovery in general. She also knows that without it, we don't have what we have.
For sure.
So,
absolutely.
And my little daughter is like a little mini me. So she's
so cute.
Stella's my Yorkie's name.
Is it really? Oh, yeah.
Stella's my last name. I don't have any Stellas. Yeah. I don't have any Stellas.
Oh, you know what's something that annoys me? You said?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, you know, it could be anything.
Here's what annoys me. Actually, this just came up recently.
Yeah, share.
But when somebody texts me and all they say is like, "Hi, Craig, how are you?" When I know that it's not just that they're asking me how I am, but they don't tell me what they want in that text. I don't know why that bothers me, but it's like, because if I start the dialogue, I don't know what they want, but they clearly want something. And so I'd rather know that on the front end of things rather than engage in this. Do you know what I mean?
Now, is it strangers? Because like I get the "Hi Amanda, how are you?" and I don't know who they are. Those.
That I think is usually like a scam or something.
Yeah.
Or scam.
Yeah. But what if? Okay, this is give you a scenario maybe to look at differently. If people are busy and going through their day, but they're thinking of you and they want to have a call with you, and they're like, "Hey, how are you, Craig?" And then they think about they're going to come back and circle back.
That's fine. That's fine. And usually,
I think I've probably done it.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, like, if you this wouldn't be you. If you text me and said, "How are you?" It just happened to me the other day, but I won't, go into more detail.
Not getting into what they want.
You know what I mean? It's like we're all busy, but like it just kind of like
get to the point.
I don't have time.
Well, the good thing about me is I don't even say I think hello to Craig. I'm just like, "Can you coming by?" Confirming,
which I love. It's
like
to the point. To the point. Yeah. So
always remember to get to the point on text messages.
Well, you can ask how I am. That's okay. Like, if it's just truly, like, because I might do the same with you. I'm not an anti, like, asking
you're allowed to feel how you feel. You're allowed to, you're validated. Okay, I'll do mine. I'm extremely grateful that it's April. It's me and Sarah's birthday month.
Yeah.
Woo.
Me too. Look it up.
What are you?
April 5th.
Oh, cool.
You're an Aries.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
She's 22nd. He's sucking out.
Actually, I'm the 22nd, which is the change of Aries. I don't know horoscopes like this, but I do know that Aries to Taurus is when it changes. So I have a piece of both. I'm both. I'm
24th, so I'm Taurus, 424, and I will be 44. Oh. And she's 422, and her numbers go into my numbers. I'm weird into numbers. I like 1111. Yeah. So all the 4s and the 2s and the 4s.
They go together. Amazing. Yeah.
So happy
birthday.
Yeah. Well, no, not yet.
Almost. Yeah.
Almost.
But yeah, so I'm grateful because last month was trauma and hell. My pet peeve is grossness and enmeshment in behavioral health space. I shared this on my little, maybe Richard shared on my little pedestal the day after the trauma of losing our friend, that like sometimes we're more kind and compassionate to some stranger that calls us than we are to one another in our own field.
Sure.
And some of us are hurting and struggling and going through shit. So that's my pet peeve is like, if you think someone is hurting themselves or relapsing or going through something, call them. Don't talk shit. Boom.
Okay.
Love it.
Boom.
Mic drop. Well, mine's about cell phones too. Now I feel like I should like amp up my pet peeve, but I won't. Okay. So I am grateful for the gym today. I think that the gym for me is a therapy, and without it, when I am unable to attend for a period of time, I feel my mental health like kind of slipping. I get really agitated, and she can tell. She's like, "You good?" I won't say anything. You can just even hear it.
It's me too. You see it in me too.
Yeah. So the gym's just an important piece for me, like the sauna, going to the gym, just having headphones on. I'm really grateful that I'm able to do that because at one point in my active addiction, they thought I was going to lose my legs, and then I obviously would only be able to do upper body at the gym, and I can do legs today.
Yeah, girl. I did legs yesterday.
Yeah, I did them today. My pet peeve is related to cell phones because it's been happening recently. And maybe I'm just old.
You're not old, honey. You're 6 years younger than me, and I'm not fucking old. So
well, I say this all the time. I feel old.
That's the case. I'm old too. So
yeah, you're not old. We're young.
The voice messages. So not the talk texting. I've told her this 800 times. It really irritates me when, it's not like, you know, the people that only do that.
Voice memos.
And then you feel like you're responding.
Or talk text.
No, it's a talk.
Text. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, not the one where it builds out what they're saying. Just like you have to click on it and then listen to the whole thing.
I can tell you the only persons that I don't mind is Natasha.
I knew you were going to say that.
Because she sends them and they're always so sweet. But yes, when I get them all the time on Instagram, I get them all the time.
I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know how to do it. I don't want to know.
Well, sometimes you might need it. I did it to you the other day just because I had my hands full.
I don't think I listened to it. I'm gonna be honest. They really irritate me. Like I'm like, just text me or like.
I know,
hit
but
the
sometimes
button
you can't. Like I was juggling shit.
So I guess my question is, and then I'll end it as, what's the difference between hitting the button to record so the text messages come out?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's wrong.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Yeah. And I understand it's preference, and I get it. It is annoying though. I do.
So anybody, don't do it to me.
Got it.
Noted.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it twice.
No,
tomorrow.
she totally will.
I might do it too, actually.
Okay, so how can people find you?
Yeah.
How can they find you and Richard? We'll have Richard on too.
Yeah. So our slogan is "We've been there." Actually, our website is www.we'vebeenthere.com.
Love.
Yeah, I like that.
Or robinsonandcasey.com. They could call us. Our number is 561-203-0085. That will get you directly to us. I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. So whatever other way that you want.
And you have a show you're starting on live.
Oh, it's like a LinkedIn Live, which you've been helping me with.
I am trying to give advice. I say use StreamYard, so you can use multiple platforms.
Oh, yeah, StreamYard's good.
I'm doing that now, but yeah, I'll have a LinkedIn Live. April 30th is the next one, so I'll be posting about that and stuff.
Very cool.
I'd like you to do an in-person one, too.
I'd like you to do one with us.
Yeah.
I'll have you on mine. Maybe you and Richard together with both of us. That'd be fun, like the four of us.
That would be fun.
That'd be cool.
We might talk over each other.
I would end up like just making fun of Richard.
Well, I'd love to have you on my. We'll do one maybe too where like we talk about how we work together.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome.
I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah. Part 2.
Okay, awesome. And question: how did you get your name first on there? How did it become Rob? Just because it sounds.
So truth be told, it was really what it came down to was how it sounded.
It sounds, Casey Robinson.
Yeah, Casey Robinson sounded like somebody's name.
Casey Richard. See, I get them like Casey Robinson. Yeah, it does sound better.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on the show on Overcoming Adversity with Amanda Marino and Sarah Frias. Yes. You can find me all over the place. I'm all very active on social media.
You are very active.
Just Google Amanda Marino and you'll find me. Sarah, how about you?
I'm not very active, but I try really hard. So Sarah Frias on Facebook, LinkedIn, and S.E. Frias on Instagram.
Are you sure it's right? Because you said it wrong.
I actually double checked last. I said it wrong last. I don't think anybody's like, oh, let me,
Yeah, no, but we are putting more energy into like getting Sarah.
Yes.
We're doing some content next week.
I'm just not comfortable with it. It's not my.
I hear you.
But you're getting much better.
You are. You're very good.
Before I used to look up like this.
And a lot of blinks.
And a lot
she would do
like this. So it's gone better.
We've grown, all of us. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and being here with us. And again, our show is powered by Next Level Recovery Associates. Look up nextlevelra.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.